Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Focus Stack podcast. I'm your host, photographer and educator Jim Ryman. And if you're new to the show, this is a show where I interview photographers about their lives, their creative journeys, and the stories behind their work. And I share them with photography enthusiasts like you. And if you're not new to the show, you know that it's been a little while since I've posted an episode. And the reason for that is about a year ago, I was interviewing for um, teaching positions all across the country. And things were really chaotic. There was a lot of uncertainty. Are we going to go here? We're going to go there. And thankfully, right about this time last year, I accepted a tenure track position at Valdosta State University in Georgia, which meant I had about a month and a half or so to pack up my life in Denver and move everything, my family, across the country and find a new home here in Georgia. Hit the ground running at a new job. I got to clean up a dark room that hadn't been used for a little bit. It was really exciting. Teach my first classes in that dark room, teach new classes, teaching foundations courses, which has been a very long time since I've been able to teach a 2D design course. So it's really exciting. And then, in this coming year, I've got new classes coming. I'm going to be teaching experimental film, more darkroom courses, alternative processes. I'm really excited. So all of that to say, I apologize for the delay in how long it's taken to get these episodes out, but it just took me a little while to kind of get into the headspace where I could sit back down and start recording. And my podcast space is not quite ready yet. It's coming together. But in the meantime, I do have 2 episodes which I had recorded right before everything got crazy at the house. And so I'm dubbing these the lost episodes, the 2 episodes that kind of got delayed in the shuffle as we move from one part of the country to the next. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's kind of checked in on me and the family, and to ask when the next episode's coming out. And thank you to the photographers who patiently awaited their episodes to come out. And I'm really excited to share this and the next lost episode with you as I renew the show with new guests and everything like that. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy this special Juneteenth episode of the Focus Stack podcast. Today's guest is someone I met almost 10 years ago when she took a workshop with me when I was in the Tampa Bay area. And ever since then, she has launched a business, and she has a really great documentary series coming up. And she is Tampa's Black woman photographer, Ashley Canay. And let me add you to the stage here. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thank you so much for bringing me on, Jim. It's nice seeing you again.
Yeah, it's almost 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't
It,
it?
it really is. Yeah, I look a little more wizardy now, I think.
Yeah, you're much more mature and seasoned now.
Yeah. So just because it has been almost 10 years, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a little throwback. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
So when you took a lighting workshop from me at my studio
Yes.
there in Tampa, and we were kind of just playing around with the different lights, and we made this photo, and I think I posted some on Instagram about this, how rumors get started. So
That is hilarious. I'm so goofy.
oh, look at me, so somebody should have told me to trim that beard up.
That is hilarious.
Look, we
Oh
were
my
wearing
gosh.
matching colors and everything.
Yes,
I don't
it's
know.
hilarious. I was like, this is going to be a maternity session whether you want it to be or not. So that's what I said.
So
That is hilarious.
I did dig that out of the archives for this. So
That is funny. Oh my gosh.
all
Thanks.
right. Well, with that out of the way, welcome to the show.
Oh my
You've
gosh.
since launched a great photographic career, and I'd love to just have you share that with the viewers.
Thank you so much. So, actually, so you were saying that was 2016, right?
Hmm.
That was the year I actually left my full-time job. I was working from 3 a.m. to noon. So when I was coming to take your workshop, I like came to it. I think it was in the evening time. over near like down Kennedy or something like that.
Mhm.
Anyways, and then after that, I would go home, take a nap, feel like, and then wake up at 3 a.m. and then went back to work. And I remember just this feeling like I'm seeing these people do this as their profession full time, and I'm running into these people that are doing this full time professionally, photography, and video. So I really wanted to take that on and do it full time. So I ended up quitting my job later on that year in August. So that was in March. That was on August 3rd, I believe, in 2016, that I quit my job and started doing photography full time. And not even photography, I started doing video. And that's going to come, I guess, come up later. But I started doing video, wedding videography only. And then after that, I decided I would do wedding photography only. No, I tried to do both. That didn't work out. Don't try to
It's
do
hard
both
to do.
at the
It's
same
really
time.
hard to do both. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was, so I tried to do both, and then I went on to just photography because it was a lot easier for me than doing video with all the angles and all the lighting, and it just takes a lot more equipment. So, started doing photography, and then just didn't look back after that, and did a little video on the side. Like I have the ability to do it, had the ability to do it, but I just didn't for a while. So I enjoyed photography. I enjoyed capturing weddings. I enjoyed capturing headshots. I enjoyed all of that. So yeah.
So what was it? So maybe talk a little bit about that transition. Like, how did you like
From
build
work
up your
to
equipment, build your client list, like because you kind of just like jumped in after
I
that.
right. I did not I have this bad habit of just doing stuff. No, I was playing. So I was huh, I don't even know what was going on, Ashley. I talked to my parents about it. I'm like, there's not many, if any, entrepreneurs, full-time entrepreneurs in my family. So there was nobody to really look to and say, "Oh, what did you do?" So I had to look from outside of my family and my immediate friends, because everybody had a job. They were on that track. So I learned about photography from one of my mentors, Dion, Dio Photo. He is no longer here. I think he's in Miami now. I learned from people like you. I learned from people that were doing this and offering workshops. I saw I needed to do the workshops and go to the conferences and learn from people that have already done all this stuff before me instead of me trying to recreate the wheel. I'm like, what did you do? So I got the education. I was looking at YouTube. I was learning how to use the equipment. I was practicing. So it was like your workshop was a part of that journey. Like, like that was in March and I quit in
Mhm.
August. So I was at that job, I want to say, for about a year and a half. And when I was there, I was on YouTube, like, 'cause they weren't really watching me. I was on YouTube, like, learning how to do this, learning how to do that, learning how to create websites, learning how to do all the things that I needed to do and put things in place in order for me to step away when it was time for me to step away. I was purchasing equipment with my paycheck, and just practicing. And that's basically what my transition was. And how did I determine when it was time? When I was seeing that I was turning down jobs, and the jobs that I was going to turn down, or the jobs that I was turning down, would have been enough for me to survive each month.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, if I'm turning these jobs down because I have to work, then if I had taken it on, or if I had taken on these, let's say if it was some type of corporate job or some type of retreat that I wouldn't take on because I had to work, that would have paid my bills. And after a while, I was like, let's just do it. Let's see how it goes. So went out on a limb, on a wing and a prayer, and just stepped out on faith and did it. So yeah.
So that's when Ashley Canay Photography was born. Then I'm
Yep.
gonna go ahead and add your website here to the stage.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did you go about like developing your brand identity and all of that?
So I did. This is not the website I built. That's disclaimer because I got this one. This one was designed by a woman named Takia, Fourth Realm Agency, I believe it's the full name, but she is a designer, a website designer, awesome branding, amazing. Um, but I wish I could pull up that website. It was there. It was something. So, um, and that's when I purchased the domain, and when I worked with Tykea, I told her I want clean lines. I'm not a curly girl. I want just straight to the point. I love navy. So I was like, let's do navy. Purple's really my favorite color, but as a business side, I was like, I love navy. I like it's clean. Do me like a navy and cream situation. I'm good. So she did that. She did a great job. Banner photo. I told her I want a few galleries on my page, and about page. I think she could scroll down. Oh, you can
Sure.
actually. So what she did, you click the buttons up top, you can
Mhm.
scroll to it. She
Yeah.
made a one-pager website.
Yeah, yeah.
I like one-pager websites only because everything is right there in front of you, and then there are backup pages that like, she made, like, one backup template page for me to use for my other pages, so I was
Mhm.
appreciative of that, so I can just copy paste the pages and use it as a template. Um, Branding photos I got from Sabrina Henley, Be Brandocious. Have a branding photographer in your network of friends.
Yeah, the
Go
photographers need photographers too.
Most certainly. Videographers, my friend Jasmine, remember when videography, she did the video that's on my page. So, you have those people in your corner and they help you build what you need in order to succeed. And if they needed me, I definitely help them if needed. Um, and have the and at the bottom you see just stuff I've been featured in. So if you've had clients that are, well recognized, definitely post them on your page. Make sure people know that, okay, these are some legit people you've worked with, right? So you're not just somebody that and everybody starts from somewhere, but it lets them know that legit companies have reached out to you. And I have some more. I've done some things for like Pepsi, the Mike Evans Foundation. There was a Selling Tampa show on Netflix. I shot one of their premiere parties that they had here in Tampa when it first came out. So definitely put on your page these people that you've worked with so people know that you have that experience is
Mhm.
very key. Some people are very hesitant to work with people because they don't, we're in the land of scams these days, and you get a product back and it's not what you paid for. So yeah.
Yeah, it adds that level of legitimacy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes websites can trick people too. So you have to,
Yeah.
in this age of AI and people putting photos on their stuff that's not really theirs. So it's
Mhm.
scary. But that's why Instagram comes in handy because you can show behind the scenes of you actually working with these people. So
Mhm. Before we jump into like social media and stuff, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the way that you market yourself as Tampa's Black woman photographer. I think there's some significance to that, and it's pretty present throughout the website. So I was just wondering if you could talk about that.
so when Takia, I forget when we built this website. I want to say it was 2021, 2022, or something like that. So around that time, people were looking for a lot of black owned businesses. It just was what it was. So people were looking for Tampa black photographer, Tampa black woman photographer. And now when you type in Google, I'm the first person that pops up when you type in Tampa black woman photographer, because I want people to that's the SEO is working for you. I want people to that are coming into town or people that live here, if they're specifically looking to support a black woman photographer, I'm gonna pop up. Um, and then it's a catch-22 though, because I don't photograph weddings anymore. Sometimes people are looking for that wedding photographer, and I don't do them anymore just due to COVID and stuff. I can't do it. Now we're back into big crowds, but I think I'm trying to get out of wedding photography anyway, so I just left it alone all completely now. But I love all my brides. Never had a bridezilla. But back to the topic at hand. Uh the black woman photographer title, I just wanted to claim that because that's who I am. And I'm proud to be that. There's not many black women photographers in Tampa. There are more. When I first started, I knew of a couple. and I think her name was Serena, Miss Bap, and then there were a few more. Like as I got older in this industry, like I'm learning about other Black women photographers that were here, but I didn't know about them. So I give them their flowers. I just didn't know about them. So growing up, I went to Blake High School, performing arts school for TV production, so video production. I didn't see a lot of Black women in those spaces doing it professionally. So, I really enjoyed doing it. I actually did a summer camp for teens a few summers ago, and I really wanted to do that again, but that's when I had my studio.
Mhm.
But in that class, I had like maybe 3 or 4 young women, young Black girls that were in that class, and I'm like, "You guys wanna be photographers? That's great," and you can see somebody that's doing it. So, I really hope they really pursue it. Okay, one of them, she got Miss Juneteenth,
Mm.
and then another one, I saw her randomly somewhere else. She said, "I'm still shooting." She said, "I'm still shooting, Miss Morrow." So,
Oh.
and then one, Cameron, he is going to school and he did his own photo shoot like in the studio. He did really good. But I see a lot of them wanting to do this professionally, and now they have a lot more representation to look up to on social media, Google, all the things. So I'm really happy for them. And I just look up to them because I'm like, I really wish I had that jump start. Like I just really wish, I could have started early. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in high school. I was like, I just like running around with this camera. This is not really what I can do with my life, but I just like running around with this camera and taking videos. That's what I like doing. So,
I was wondering if maybe we could take a look at some of your work here on the site. What do you think?
cool. So we could
Anywhere you'd
go
like to jump
to
into?
let's go into events. Go into
Okay.
events, and then we could go into conferences. So I just got into conferences, and those are fun.
Okay.
Um, so this was an event at the Salamander Golf Course, the Surf's Up Baby, and then this was at behind someone's mansion. They had a pool party, and then this one is Mike Evans with Tom Brady. That was at his
Oh,
gala. I get asked all the
football
time,
people.
huh?
Football people.
Football people. Yeah, right. No, so funny story. When so that is the Mike Evans Family Foundation. They have annual events every year around the holidays, usually it's Halloween, Christmas, and they have gala usually in the summer. I think they're going to be bringing it back in December this year because I think they made the announcement already. But they host this gala, and um lots of money being thrown around in there. Oh my god. Like, oh, I donate this, donate 10,000, donate 13,000. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like just like it's $5. But I got that job through Google. Somebody was researching. I don't know if she looked up Black woman photographer or not, but she was looking for a photographer, and they called me. And truth be told, I don't watch football at all. I don't even have ESPN. I don't watch football. So I remember when she called, she was like, I believe she told me she was the Mike Evans Foundation director, or not. I don't remember whether she told me or not, but she tells me that, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. What time is it? Okay, cool. What date? All right. Okay, well, this is my rates, yada yada yada." So I don't think until I started, like, I Googled him, and I was like, "Oh, this is a Bucks." Like, she told me it was a Bucks player, but I'm like, "Oh, this is a Maine Bucks player." I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I get there, and it's all these people, and but I loved working with him because he does not do the whole paparazzi thing, like where you hire 10 photographers and then everybody's like doing all that. He's actually a very humble guy. He doesn't like taking a lot of photos. Like he's not that type of celebrity. So I'm basically there just to get like marketing stuff for his director Courtney, and she's a sweetheart. And I tell people and then I get asked, how do you get that gig? Make sure you are putting yourself out there on Google, getting your Google reviews, getting getting your SEO up, I forget what SEO stands for, but
Search engine optimization.
yes. So make sure you're putting like Tampa photographer. If there's something else you're known for, like Tampa celebrity photographer, Tampa, like type those things in so that that way when people go into Google, they can find you a lot easier. And then what a lot of these celebrities do, once they find somebody they like to work with, they're like, boom, it's plug and play. They don't like to have to keep trying to find different people. So, and then once you get in that circle, they kind of branch out and you go into their other you get to go work with other people. So that's been a really cool gig. But definitely work on your Google presence, 'cause Google's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, Google's not going anywhere for sure.
Google is not going anywhere. But yeah, so these are just some big events, and I've done some other events. I just haven't put them up here on it.
Hmm.
But like, there's one I'm selling Tampa. They had a Netflix show.
Hmm.
And they had a big premiere party here in Tampa. So like Ocho Cinco, there was a bunch of people that were there. Michael Vick, I think was there. Yes, it was a bunch
Hmm.
of just other celebrities that were in the room. It was really cool. Um, and then for that one, I think they found me through word of mouth. Word of mouth is a
Yeah.
big thing too.
Hmm.
So, uh it's making sure you're maintaining professionalism with whoever you work with, because they're watching, people around them are watching. Um making sure you are remaining professional in emails, in person, all of that. Especially in emails. It ain't nothing for somebody to forward some verbiage you said that was out of pocket. So, making sure you're staying professional. I've never had that issue, but just as a word of advice, because sometimes when you're in this realm of entrepreneurship where you are the CEO and the representative, like you are the person that is representing a whole company, you have to remain professional at all times. um all times. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so yeah, I did a lot of birthdays and uh all that stuff. I really enjoyed it. And then you can go into conferences. So I
Oh,
want
sure.
to go into conferences soon. This one specifically, this was like at the convention center. It was for the anthropology, American Anthropology annual meeting. That's what it was called, the AAA meeting. And all the photos on this page are from that. And they invited me to come back next year. And I was like, I would really enjoy doing this. With them though, they only wanted one photographer. So it was just me. So I just make sure they understood. I was like, I just need to when if you are the only photographer shooting a retreat or a conference or a convention or an annual meeting or whatever, make sure you are 100% sure on the schedule, and you need to be the last person surprised. It's not like, oh, this person just showed up, because you have to book it from this side of the convention center to that side of the
Hmm.
convention center, you and your equipment. So they were
Hmm.
really good on that. They let me know this is happening at this time, this time, this time, this time. If you don't have a second or an assistant or somebody with you to go run and get some things for you, whether it's equipment or shots, uh, you have to be all the way on your A game as far as like the schedule of the day. So with them, they were really easy to work with. They said we're gonna have a few panels this time, this time, this time. We're gonna have a luncheon here. And I was like, and so they asked if I could manage it myself. I said I can manage it myself as long as y'all let me know what's coming up. So I always tell people that's the same with weddings. I actually tell my brides, I'm the last person you want to be surprised. Do not,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
not do something and then like ask me if I got it if you didn't tell
Mhm.
me you were going to do it. And you didn't tell me beforehand, before the wedding. If you told me before the wedding, still try to remind me, but at least you told me at one point and I can remember myself. Or the groom will slide across the floor to go get the garter. You could have told me that before you did it, because I was over here getting your grandma. So like you have
Yeah.
to let me know.
You're trying to transition more into the conference space right now, is that?
Yeah, I liked it, and it was a few days that I was there, but I really enjoyed it, and they enjoyed having me there. I enjoyed being there. The vibes are good. It wasn't as high pressure as a wedding
Mm-hmm.
at all. It's like, these people are not in a space of you need to retouch my face and do all the things. They're trying to get marketing photos so that people can see what it looked like if they had come experiencing FOMO. So they're going to use that stuff for branding next year. So next year, this annual meeting is going to be in New Orleans next year. So I'll be getting to go to New Orleans. It's a great way to be able to travel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Photographies will allow you to travel to some of the spaces you probably never would have been to
Oh.
if you had not been into it. So if you are getting into photography, if that's something you value, if you just really want to travel, look for those conventions. Look for the companies that are going spaces for retreats, and they have that line item, that budget line item, so they could say, okay, this is what our budget is, and then you kind of work within that budget. Like that's always a question that you ask corporate clients: what's the budget? Because usually there is a budget. You're not working with their piggy bank or somebody's bank account. You're
Mm-hmm.
working with a company that has a line item for photography, which may be 10K, or the line item for photography may be 7K, or it might be 15K or 20. And if they say, okay, well, we want to stay here, okay, then you meet that. Okay, so for that, I can do this, 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 and this. The
Right.
other way you can do it is like what I have on my page is I just have my rates up there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, because again, you are the owner of this company, if they're having a convention in Hawaii, they're going to cover your travel. They always need to cover your travel and your food. So that's the other thing. They're going to cover your travel. They're going to cover your food. You might say, like, if you've really been wanting to go to Hawaii, maybe you could knock some off. It's up to you. You don't have to be so, but I don't recommend putting negotiable on your page either. Don't put that. So,
Yeah.
but play it by ear. If somebody's gonna have a convention here in Tampa and they're like, well, can you just knock some off? Because no, I
Yeah.
can't. Because you're not taking me anywhere cool. You're not paying for my travel. I'm not going on vacation. I'm at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to gauge it. And like if somebody was going to take me to Greece or something like that, like you have to really just, gauge and see if it's something that or somewhere you really want to go. And like I said, this is for photographers that really value travel.
Mm-hmm.
And, work from there. Now,
Yeah.
don't discount yourself into oblivion, like you paying to go work. Don't do that. But you should not be paying at all for travel. That's why I keep stressing that.
Yeah, when I first started, I got a lot of trips to Las Vegas when I was shooting some early weddings and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I did want to ask you. You do put your rates on your website, and I think there's a lot of photographers that don't do that. And just curious if you want to talk about that. I know you've kind of put them out there, but have you found that that's really useful? Is like people?
To be honest, Jim, when I put my rates now, when Takia made this page, my rates were not on there.
Hmm.
It's when I wanted things to slow down.
Okay.
My rates on my page. I was in this space of I was looking for a job, and I do have a job now, but I was in this space where I was looking for a job, and then when I found the job, I had to slow down with my photography business. And in this industry now, people are doing a lot of price shopping. They're like, okay, where can I get it the
Yeah.
lowest? Where can I get it lowest?
Yeah.
I know I'm not the cheapest, which is fine, but I put my rates on my website so that way it's knocked that all the way down. And on my if you go to my portraits page, like this one says let's chat on my the conference page. You go to portraits and you scroll down and you go to book now.
You want me to click it?
Yeah, you click it. It goes straight to my booking page now. So when it goes to my booking page, it's not like we're doing a consultation. It's none of that. Because I'm very because I do have my phone number at the bottom. If somebody wants to talk to me, they can talk to me. But I don't. I just want to go straight to, if you want to book, you can book. This is my work. This is what you're gonna get. I just wanted everything to slow down, and it slowed things down. I still do shoot clients, but they're the ones that like, okay, I'm sure I want to work with you, and then they just go ahead and move forward. It's not really a whole lot of conversation, and we have a great time. But if I wanted inquiries to just keep pouring in, I would take my rates off, and then there's all these questions that start coming in as to like how much and what is it, da da da. I don't got time for that right now. So I had to I put all my information just out there. This is what it is. And at a time there was also a time I was charging like maybe like 12.50 for a session, and that included a book, that included a consultation, that included, the session, unlimited outfits. Like it was like, it was bulked up. And then when I wasn't really for doing that whole experience anymore, I went back down to 300, and then I just put it out there. If this is what you want, then here you go. And it doesn't include all the frills. It's like I'm going to show up, take these pictures, and then you're going to get some proofs, and you're going to be able to select your photos. So, but I still enjoy doing it. It's just my way of being able to crowd control,
Okay.
that makes sense. So
Yeah.
if you the people that don't want to put their because I didn't put mine on there either, because you want people to, reach out to you and you can sell them. I'm not a salesperson. And I don't like people sell to me. I hate it. Like I'm like, just what do you want? Do you want money? Like what do you want from me? That's the way I am. I'm just like, if I like it, I'm gonna buy it. That's the way I am. So I like clients that are like that. Like, this is what I want. I'm gonna pay you for it. I'm not a salesperson to be like, and then you're gonna get this. But wait, there's more. And then da 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 da. I can't do all that. I don't got time. So, but I enjoy, and it comes to, I think it comes back to, I think you were saying earlier, like, or somebody was saying like, you can fall out of love of it. It was somebody else. You can fall out of love with a passion when you start getting paid for it. And I love doing photography so much. And then when money got put in the mix, it was like, okay, I have to charge for it because this is what I do to make a living. But it's also becoming a space where I have to give myself an edge and do more than what other photographers are doing, because I want to, give myself an edge and offer this and offer albums and offer this and that. Yeah, and I was just like, you know what? I don't really want to do all that anymore. So that's how I kind of felt out of that. And now I've transitioned over to like being more focused on the client and what their end goal is. And we do discuss, like I tell them in my booking process, like, you can call me if you're not sure yet. You can feel free to call me. I'm not hiding to say you can't reach out to me. Definitely reach out. You do want to talk to the clients, but leave your contact information. But you're going to get some clients that they just want to book. They want a quick, easy booking process. Oh, here it is. And I still book people, so it's totally fine. I make sure they understand that I don't do weddings. So on my events page, in like the booking page, on my events booking page, I say I do not do weddings. And then when they're booking, you have to check, Ashley Canay does not do weddings. This is not a wedding. Understood? Like, you have to check. Yes, I understand. Like, so because I don't want people to feel tricked at all. Right there, see 2-hour minimum, no weddings or photo sessions during the event.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
And then when you're doing the booking, the actual, because this is not booking, this is let's chat. It's a consultation talk. So
Gotcha.
even when you're reserving that, it says, I understand Ashley does not do weddings. And you have to click I understand. And then some people will still try it. I know you said you don't do weddings, but I still get those emails. I know you said you don't do weddings. I was like, but this is not a wedding. We're just gonna be. And I thought about actually getting into elopements and courthouse, but I've heard those are even more of a headache, because then you have any, let me just say, brides have the expectation, whether they want to feel like they're downsizing it or not, like, oh, we're not going to spend much money. We're not going to do too much. Even if you're doing a courthouse wedding, you feel like you're not doing too much. Sometimes women, and I'm a woman, you still have this expectation of what it's going to look like to the public. And that's where the photographer comes in. So then you have the photographer come into your house or to this hotel, and you're just doing a little courthouse like elopement situation. You got her come to this hotel. Okay, we want to do all of this and that and da da da. And I'm like, we're just doing a few photos outside of the courthouse. I thought that's what we were doing, but no. Now you're
Mhm.
getting prep, and now go over to my
Yep.
husband, and he's gonna do prep, and then now we're gonna go over here and do this and do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
And
turns into a whole production.
yeah.
So, and not to say it's not their fault. That's you have to go in as a photographer with an understanding of what the expectation is first,
Mhm. Yeah.
right?
Like you said, you don't wanna be the person that's surprised.
At all. So you have to have a conversation. If I could give any advice, that would be some of the biggest advice. Have that conversation before, if you're into weddings or whatever, have that conversation before the wedding. Um, what the expectation is, or before they book, okay? Not before the wedding, before they
Mhm.
book. What are they looking for? When people want to book with you, and if you're starting, because these are for beginning photographers, right?
That's for anybody out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, beginner, advanced, you're gonna hear the word just a lot. I just want, and I just, and all we're looking for. And when you do, when you hear that, that's for me, that's a trigger. I'm like, okay, so what's the just? Because
Mhm.
when you hear the just, that means they're already discounting in their head what you offer. Don't give in to it, because if you charge, let's say you charge 250 to do a photo session or something like that. And they're like, I just want one photo. Can you take it down? I was like, I have to explain to them, no, I can't come out to take one photo of you, because we're really gonna have to take a bunch of photos for you to pick that one photo. And then I have to spend time, and the time I've spent at these workshops, like I've registered for Jim's workshop, I've registered for conferences, I've registered for conventions, traveled out to these places. Like it's a lot more that's baked into this experience than people realize,
Mhm.
than you just showing up with your camera and taking one photo. If I show up and take one photo of you, I bet I don't come and just take one photo and you like it, and then we just go on about our day. That's time of you having to drive out there and drive home. So don't discount your work because somebody's in this I just need. And that's what when I had my students in my summer camp, I would probably be a very militant boot camp instructor if I was if I did like, it's no just there is no just in photography. Like, you know how much your mama paid for this camera? Like, you have to really drill it into their little heads, like this is a very valuable skill and it's transferable, right? I can take photos of, like, I think I've taken some culinary arts food photography, and I'm not a culinary arts photographer, but it looks decent because this skill is transferable across many industries, every
Mhm.
industry almost.
Yeah.
Shoot. So don't discount your work, don't discount this skill. Don't slack off. Like, you have to keep at it. I Even with my photography, my videography, I hadn't done as much videography, but this documentary is bringing me back into editing software that looks almost alien to me now because they've updated everything so much. And I'm like, oh, I've fallen all the way off. Like, I
Yeah.
have to get back in this thing. And I know, your little cut, split, splice, copy, paste. Like, I still remember all that stuff. And I'm like, I should be able to do all of the things in here in this editing software, but I've, like, backed off of it. So I have to get back into it.
Yeah, it only takes a couple updates for it to look just enough different that it slows you down a little.
Yeah, and I have shortcuts so that my shortcuts are they're in my that felt good. I was able to do my
Mhm.
shortcuts and they were still the same, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, why is this button over here now?" Like it's very interesting.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I really do enjoy it, and yeah.
Well, one of the things I think that you mentioned, you had to like just get yourself out there and just really kind of hustle. And I wanted to kind of talk about the way you do your Instagram, because I think that you're pretty good at marketing yourself on Instagram.
Thank
So is
you.
that, yeah, can I go and pull
And
that up?
I don't even do I'm not on there as much. You will
Yeah.
see. A big only because I feel like people are moving over to TikTok a lot. Then there was the issue of TikTok being shut down for a little bit, and I was like,
Right.
y'all not finna mess with finna mess with me. So I was on Instagram very heavy towards the beginning.
Hmm.
And then the algorithm thing happened where, you may or may not be seen on people's algorithms. And then your engagement may have gone down. And that's when I started seeing my engagement going down after they started introducing video. So I was like, okay, I need to start getting back into video with the reels
Hmm.
and things. Got back into
Yeah.
the reels, doing the memes and stuff like that. Those are fun. Those are cute. COVID happened. We were all inside doing the memes. And and on TikTok doing all the memes and the reels and all that stuff, and had a great time with that. Then when the world opened back up, it seemed like just an influx of just all of this information. The For You page was invented, and now you're seeing everybody's content instead of just the people you're following, and other people can see your content other than the people that are following you, which is good, but you're also consuming all this other content. So, something I heard that stuck with me is we are the creators of content and people are the consumers. As creators, we cannot spend our time consuming content all day. It's a waste of time. Understand if you need to scroll to get some inspiration if you're searching for something, but you cannot scroll. You can, but it's going to be a waste of your time. So, with that, I internalized that and I started creating more content, right? I love the pin feature because I can pin things up top that say, okay, these are the type of people I've worked with before. Like, that's a photo of Mike Evans. I don't know why he's doing that, but Mike Evans, and then that's Chris Godwin. That was for Lids. I did a Lids, was doing behind the scenes for a Lids commercial, the hats, and then selling Tampa. So those are some great opportunities that I've had in with working with photography and video. What is that? And then if you scroll down, so recently I just started working on a project called If We Listen, and it's a documentary. I've been mainly doing photography for the past like 6, 7 years, but videography is something that's been going on in the background. So I've also fallen in love with Black history, and I wanted to merge the two, so videography and history. And I have a lot of connections with a lot of Black elders here in Tampa. And I wanted them to tell their stories, their experiences growing up here in Tampa. And with me having such a love for history, there's a lot of books involved with that and a lot of reading. And I'm not an author. I wouldn't call myself an author, but I know I'm a videographer. So that's my way, that's my medium of being able to transfer this information, to pass down this information. And it will live on YouTube. Google, like I said, Google's not going anywhere. And this video will be in the ether for people to, uh, or videos will be in the ether for people to just, digest. And that's the goal.
So you actually have another Instagram set up for this project though as well, right?
Black Tampa historians.
Let me go
Um,
there.
so a few years ago, I started the Black Tampa historians to share Tampa's Black history, just general Tampa Black history. I wanted it to be a resource. I wanted it to be somewhere people can go if they wanted to find stories. Like if you're a student here in Tampa, and let's say your parent or your teacher says, "Oh, do a report on Black history." It's not just we have Central Avenue here in Tampa. That's in near downtown Tampa. A lot of content is out about Central Avenue, but there are other stories that are surrounded around Central Avenue or outside of Central Avenue. There are other Black neighborhoods, other Black communities, old Black communities. There was a cemetery that was built over. Like there's other stories that happened in Tampa
Hmm.
that are not buried. They're in plain sight in there. A lot of them are free to assess from free to access via newspaper.com. And you can get a membership at newspaper.com, but I'm able to look at newspapers from the 1800s And I'm able to see these stories where they're calling Black people Negroes or talking about a lynching or talking about this or that. And I'm like, this is our history. And I'm a fifth generation Tampan. My family actually came out of Georgia, but my great great grandmother was here in Tampa in Belmont Heights area. So her name was Ella Mae Lungsford, who had Lucille Lungsford, who married Carl Morrow, and they had my no, not we married Lord Alfred Morrow, who had Carl Morrow, my grandfather, who had Carl Morrow, my father, who had me. So I've come out of Tampa, and it's very interesting learning my genealogy and learning this history, because I'm like, okay, these people were here during those times that I'm learning about, not 1800s, but I think we got here in like the early 1900s when my family got here. So it really is important to me to learn it. And as when I created this page, I learned there are other people that are actually interested in this information as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I know we have a clip that I have queued up here. Do you care if we watch that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let me add that.
Put out, it said that the older lady, Miss Ruth Jackson Person, passed away in 2023. So some of you asked in my DMs, yes, this was shot a few years ago. And unfortunately, she and another woman passed away. Older lady passed away. And I got sidetracked. I got really busy. And I never came back to this project. And I shot about 10 people. With this one, I put in 6. Now, the next season or entry, I'll probably put the other people, and I'll probably go record some more people. But this was a passion project. I did not get paid for this. Was not expecting payment for it. Anything like that. I paid a lot of money for equipment, and I really wanted to get it done. So I'm finally putting it out.
Yeah, so I was interested in just getting this information out. It's just been a long time coming. I think I shot this about 2-3 years ago, and the older ladies that you see right there in that square, they had been one of them had been the teachers at Tampa's first Black school, Miss Ruth J. Person. And she and one of her students, the other lady that's sitting there to her right, Miss Frances Jennings, sat down and talked with me. And they talked about their experiences, and a lot of the research that I'm doing, it's lining up with what they're talking about. And it's so cool because I'm like, these are like little historians and all these, and they're sitting in their living rooms. People still have their grandparents that grew up here in Tampa here with us, and some of them may have been born in the 1920s, 1930s, and they're like living historians. And a lot of times these older people, these elders want to talk, we're not listening, so we have to listen. So that's why it's called If We Listen. We'll be able to hear these things. And a lot of it, lots of times people don't want to listen to it because it's the education that's around, they don't know. So hopefully my goal is to try to bridge that gap so people understand what they're talking about is related to what's going on today. And what you see them talking about is still here today, or is no longer here. And here's why it's no longer here, because this is where it's the break in the chain. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that stands out as something that just kind of blew your mind as you were chatting with the people?
So Miss Person, one revelation that I had was with Miss Person is she was explaining to me that she went to Middleton High School, and in 1941 Middleton High School burns down, and she told me, she was explaining, okay, when it burned down, the students were sent to this Cuban school. And I remember that caught my attention while we were recording. I didn't ask her about it during the recording because I didn't want to get sidetracked, so I just didn't ask her about it. So and I don't think I got it on film, unfortunately, but after we recorded, I was like, what Cuban school was it? And she tells me McFarland. And I was like, no, McFarland's not a Black school. Like, I'm like, that's not a Black school. It had to be something else. There had to be another school in West Tampa. And I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not it. So I'm doing my research. like last month, I'm doing my research about the history of historically black schools here in Tampa. So while I'm doing this research on Middleton, I get to the part about the fire, and it talks about the students being sent to McFarland Public School, which was a Cuban school in West Tampa. And I'm like, I'm over here like, no, that wasn't it. Like I'm like, no, they didn't McFarland. If it was a white school, they didn't send you to a white school. That makes no sense. So, but what happened was this actually happened, and then I have the photo clipping and everything. This actually happened, and when they send these black students to this West Tampa school that was was all Cuban students, because in West Tampa, if you do not know, there are a lot of cigar factories that are now closed, but cigar factories are over there, so there were a lot of Cuban that they look white Cuban, like white Cuban students that were in this school. And so when Middleton burns down, they send the Negro students over to the Cuban school, and they send the Cuban schools to other schools. And then that school ends up staying a Negro school, because once Negroes get put into a school, it's Negro forever. It cannot be converted back to a white school no longer, or a Cuban school any longer. So they take the Middleton gets rebuilt. The Negro students go back to Middleton. Then they turn that school into Carver High School, George Washington Carver High School. And that was a historically black high school as well. And this was in 1943, I think, when Carver was created, when the Middleton school students left in West Tampa. Now Carver is, I think it's like George Washington Carver Center, and it's like an adult school or something like that. So it's all history. It's all history. And the only reason why it became an adult school is because in 1971 in Hillsborough, all the schools become integrated. When that happened, all the Negro schools, historically black schools, ended up closing. And they either closed or turned into a 7th grade center, or like I think they all turned into 7th and 8th grade centers, or 7th grade centers. And the way the schools did it is all the black schools closed, all the black students had to get integrated into white schools. Now, what that does to a black student, if I was top of my game or top of my class, or I was on the football team and I was, first on the first string, I may not be on the first string anymore. It kind of knocks these students down in ranking and in what's the word I'm looking for? In status in their schools, which does something to their self-esteem, which in turn does something like it just rocks
it's
them
a
a
ripple effect.
Yes, a ripple effect is what happens. And the 7th grade center, so these black schools like Blake, now it's Stewart Middle School, but originally it was Blake High School, that turned into a 7th grade center, and they was black and white. When white students were 7th graders and black students were 7th graders, they were all put into that school or other 7th grade centers that were other Negro schools around the county. So sorry for the little history lesson, but
it's great.
she sparked that, and I went down the whole rabbit hole, and it all came from her, making the statement that when Middleton burned down, we went over to McFarland. And I was like, no, I didn't go to no McFarland. So that's not a black school. Like, what do you mean? But yeah, so it's all there in the newspaper article. So, you just have to do your research.
Yeah. So this project here, you see it as a series?
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's, just like how you're talking to me, there are an abundance of stories. There are so many stories, and people have them like just locked away. And if we listen, and I told you before, I'm kind of just like building this as I'm falling right now. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do like interjections and talk about, like, give people context through like text or through newspaper articles, or like put a historian on to explain what they're talking about. Like, I'm still trying to build out what this looks like. All I have right now are these videos of them and their expository explanation of what they went through growing up here in Tampa, which is enough. but I want to again give people context so that way when they're listening to this first person and listen to this second person, at least they have some type of footing to say, okay, I know this is what happened during this time because I may have heard this lesson in another video. So yeah.
Yeah. So are you finding that that's happening where like people will be like, they'll bring up something that someone else mentioned and there's that cross, or not quite yet?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because my questions, like sometimes asking the same questions and asking if they experienced this or experienced that. And like I can ask them about, did they experience the 1967 riots? Were they involved with it? Or who did they know? Like I can get their perspective. And I think that's the magic of this. I'm not going after the people that are on the stage and are kind of prepped and trained to talk about these experiences. These are people that just, like Miss Person was a teacher that worked at Harlem Academy. She wasn't the principal. She wasn't like, there's no media training going on here. These people are not like, they don't feel like they have to be politically correct. Some of them are like, Doretha Edgecombe is her right here. She's very well known in the Black community. But she's very open about her experiences of what she's experienced with her being in that political arena. Which I'm very thankful for. But there are people like here, Miss Edith Randolph. She is, very candid about this is what I experienced, and their experiences are the same, but there's no two. There'll never be two lives that have the same exact experience.
Right.
But they can all corroborate each other's story and say, yeah, no, we were not allowed to go over there, or we were not allowed to go over here, and they never had a conversation about it. It's just that this was their experience. This was the word on the street. This is what we all knew to be true. So yeah.
So I think was it Juneteenth is when you're going to premiere this?
Yep. Yeah. And I have to create a web page. I have to create a web page. I have to create a I'm not going to be too heavy on like the branding of but I'm going to put the information out there because like I said, this is the first one and there will be more. I may go down to Mama and get the stories of Black elders down in Mama or Black elders up in Sulphur Springs. Like there's other areas in Tampa, not just Tampa, St. Pete. Like there are some elders in spaces within Hillsborough County, within this area, that have these amazing stories. And they, like you say, they all have experienced the same thing. There's a cross. It's just, finding that cross and making sure I'm able to tell their stories. And I want them all to all to tell their own story. There was, because somebody did suggest, making one long documentary. And while that would be great, I feel like this is their space to tell their story. So I wanted them to be separate. So yeah.
Well, I think it's important work. I'm excited to see how it all comes together.
Me too. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have zero idea how it's going to come out. Like with him, I think I put a reference here with a newspaper article because I want to show people like this is stuff that was in the news. And the newspaper back then, like imagine the newspaper being your Facebook. That's how it was back then. That's how important print media was back then. It is still important today, but back then
That was it.
Huh?
That was just it.
That was it. Everybody read the paper. Like you don't know what's going on if you miss the paper. And like older papers, it would say stuff like Bartholomew Leonardi just arrived on the train. I'm like, that's news. Like what? Y'all have nothing else going on? Like it was telling when people were coming in and out of town, and like, why is this a section? Like, did they pay for this section, or did y'all just notice this person came into town? Like, it's very interesting. It was somebody sitting at the train station. Oh, Miss Swan is it? Like it would be like Miss Swan is in, or James McKay, or like these names we still hear today around Tampa. So and so is still in town, and I'm like, why is that news? Like, I couldn't imagine. I guess it would have to be a pretty big person, but I guess I couldn't imagine coming into town. And they're like, oh, Ashley just came into town. Okay. Maybe I didn't want everybody to know I'm here today. So I don't know. This is like everybody was in everybody's business. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching it just because you were mentioning places that I recognized in Tampa, and I'm like I used to do art shows there in the West Tampa Center for the Arts, which was in one of those cigar factories that you
Oh,
mentioned.
cool.
And thinking about I'd heard about this a cemetery getting
Mhm.
was it it's now is it a park or something now or
Zion Cemetery is there's a historical marker now. There they no it was built over by the Tampa Housing Authority. I want to say in the mid 1900s or so,
yeah.
mid late 1900s or so. Once it was discovered, and not really even discovered, it's people knew that it was there.
Hmm.
That's what's crazy. Like the people that are in Miss Person's generation, they knew it was there. They were well aware that it was there. A lot of them have died off, and it was kind of like just swept under the rug, I believe. But they knew, and whether or not they had actual relatives there, and that's what happens with cemeteries. Actually, like we see these cemeteries now, like Oaklawn, they would never touch. That's downtown. But we see these big cemeteries now, and cemeteries are huge, but there's smaller cemeteries sometimes along the road and everything. And if the family has like moved on or passed away and they don't even remember or know who these people are anymore, cemeteries get moved all the time, I hear. I did not know that.
Hmm.
And it's just these black people, these black cemeteries, the people that were there were not moved. So if they weren't moved, that means um the places where there's just grass, those people were able to rest and they were not touched. But the places where buildings were put and foundation was poured, somebody had to have seen something. And it's concerning that uh construction moved forward. And that's what's sucky about the whole thing. And people that may have purchased like other places, not just Tampa. If you purchase property on top of that, then you have to like, what do you do now? Like, does do you get more land somewhere else? Or is somebody else going to give you money to like buy more land somewhere else? Do you have this emotion like, well, why should I move? It wasn't in the cemetery when I bought. Like, it's kind of it gets very complicated. I don't know, but it's just a sucky situation. All we can do for me, I feel like is accountability is what's important. And projects like this, I feel like help with accountability,
Mhm.
people sharing their piece and making sure they're talking about their experiences. Because if I knew me, if I knew somebody was going to talk about me being a sucky person to them, I wouldn't do it. I don't know. So
Mhm.
that accountability is really important, I think. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm really looking forward to watching it and learning more just because, I lived in Tampa for about 13 years. And
mhm.
so, like, I still consider it kind of a second home. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm really interested to learn more.
Yeah, most certainly. It just takes that education. Like I said, I had this acronym ERA: education, recognition, and then accountability. First, we learn about things with the education, and then we recognize it for what it is and what happened, and then the accountability is where we actually do something about it. And whether that's monetary, whether that's stopping doing something or boycotting something, like that's the accountability is, I think, is a lot of time where we fall off and we don't want to do that part. We're fine with educating people, we're fine with recognizing and erecting a marker for it, but when that accountability part comes up, it's like we don't got no money. we don't got we can't do that part. But I think it's really important that we do our part and try to make sure that these stories don't die. And that's where my accountability comes in. It's my job, and I feel like my responsibility as a photographer and a videographer and somebody that has gained this skill to do this now.
Hmm.
I've been blessed with this talent to do this. I need to transfer it over here
So
and use it.
transferability. Yeah.
Transferability, yes. Bring it over here and make sure it's being these stories are being shared. I think that's very important.
Well, excellent. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap this up. We're getting close to the hour mark. As we close here, I know you've been offering a lot of advice throughout the whole thing, but any parting words before we head off?
And my only advice is to just keep swimming, keep going. Make sure you just, keep your head down and keep working, and don't let anyone discourage you, because people that don't go out and did never went out and did what they wanted to do for a living, they kind of can't see. They don't have that vision that you may have. So make sure you keep with that vision, and go out and do what you were born to do.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's been really great catching up with you. I mean, 9 years later, here we are.
Crazy. That's wild, man.
So thank you for being on the show. And you want people to, if people want to follow you, where should they go? They go to your Instagram, go to the Black Tampa Historians.
Ashley Canay or Black Tampa Historians. I am on both.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And for everyone out there, I hope to see you guys on the next episode, and I hope you're having a great week.
Thank you
Bye.
for having me. Bye.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. It helps us connect with more photography lovers just like you.